How do I navigate this? How do I navigate this? It keeps popping up and I can't do this anymore. I've been married for 10 plus years, and we have 2 kids. Since I met my husband, he's been very concerned about image and cleanliness. His mom is a neat freak, but has a heart of gold. My husband unfortunately didn't receive the empathy gene from her and is lacking in that department. He thinks a lot about himself on a daily basis, doing the bare minimum to seem like a nice guy. His main concern is having a successful career, owning a nice home, having nice things, and looking perfect. At least, that's what it seems to me. I had a friend say to me that if our relationship was a wrapped present, he would be the perfectly gift wrapped outside and I'm the gift on the inside. Do with that analogy what you will. This has been a struggle through raising babies and kids and has caused a fair amount of anxiety for me as I am the one who is managing their days and the house, while also working a full-time job remote and he goes to the office. There's never a lot of discussion about neatness. It's more of an expectation. When my husband gets stressed, his obsession with neatness becomes worse. He will rage clean, as I like to call it, and throw out things that he doesn't see value in or that bother him. Kid stuff, my stuff, house stuff. He will disregard everyone around him to get the house to a state that calms him down. I try to protest or interrupt, and it only ends up with my feelings getting hurt, so I've stopped trying to say anything and just try to rescue things if needed after the fact. We had a huge fight last spring because he was stressed, came home, saw the kids were doing art projects in the basement and left their craft supplies and basically started complaining/yelling and trying to throw out all their things. I had enough of his shit that week, so I fought back and tried to point out that the crafts weren't the issue. His stress was that he was creating a dramatic situation and making it worse than if he just figured out how to manage his own stress. This led to a huge fight. A lot of insults thrown my way that had nothing to do with what we were even fighting about. He's a dirty fighter, loves to bring up all sorts of other things while fighting about something totally different. We didn't speak for a week, and then I ended up apologizing first just so we could move past it. He did apologize for some things he said, but he didn't understand the connection between his stress and the fight starting. He gaslit me, blamed me for starting the fight, twisted my words, etc. We moved on. But this weekend, we went out to dinner with friends. Things have been stressful and tense. We had my mom and stepdad visiting, work and kids' activities have been crazy. I was looking forward to getting out, had a lot of great conversations and talked a bunch. He doesn't like when I talk about him, and he doesn't like when I talk too much, period. This has been a fight before. He perceives me talking about him as picking on him when it can be something simple as, oh, he likes to watch alien documentaries. He waited until our neighbors got out of the car and snapped at me the second we pulled out of the driveway for talking too much and not paying attention to him. We walked into our house, and he immediately notices the kids spilled something on the rug. He starts flipping out and pacing. I know he's blaming my mom because she was watching them, so I go into panic and start trying to clean it up. I could feel his anger and annoyance as this is happening. He is visibly annoyed. I ask him, "Why are you getting so angry? Why are you annoyed at me?" And he responds with, "I'm not annoyed. You're the one who has the attitude. Look at you." This leads to us fighting because I kept pushing him to admit why he was so annoyed with me, and he kept trying to gaslight me and tell me that he wasn't annoyed at all and that I was causing drama. We started fighting. He told me to leave the house because his name was on the deed. I'm just like my mother and love to hear myself talk, and I have issues that I should medicate myself for. He physically backed me in a corner and got in my face, took clothes off the racks in my closet, locked himself in the bathroom for 2 hours. I slept downstairs, and he woke me up at 4 a.m. to tell me that I hurt him, that he couldn't understand why I attack him and push him to fight, that he can't take it anymore. To keep the peace, and since we had guests, I apologized for asking him to tell me what was wrong and said I should have let it go. I explained that if he showed empathy in that moment when I was cleaning up the rug and talked to me about it instead of making me feel like it was my fault, that we could have resolved the situation and figured it out together. He said that we needed to move on and asked me to come to bed, told me he loved me so much, held my hand, told me to rest. Since then we haven't touched, barely talked. He left the house for 4 hours yesterday, said goodbye to our guests and told me he didn't want to entertain them. He acts like everything is fine in front of the kids, but it feels off. My anxiety is in overdrive. I feel like an idiot for apologizing and for not standing my ground when he is clearly manipulating the situation. I feel disappointed in myself and overwhelmed because I know if I try to talk to him about it, he won't see it, won't understand it from my perspective or anyone else's. Is there something I can do to get out of this cycle? Do I just not react next time? I'm physically, mentally, and emotionally sick over it.